Welcome to the blending mode class at Hummy's World. We are finally out of the darken set of blending modes and into the lighten set, and I'm so excited. I'm doing them in order. It may not have been quite as much fun playing with the darker ones. Let's go look here real quick. Here's the darker ones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lighten ones. And to me, the lighten ones, if you're only using one, are much more fun to play with because the photos that get lighter are softer and more appealing and to the eye and make you just feel comfort. Whereas the darker photos make things darker, and those evoke a different type of emotion. And so I'm glad to get out of the darker ones and to play with the lighter ones. Now, what works best is combining the darker and the lighter, or the darker and some of the others. The darken would darken certain areas, and then you go back and you lighten it with something else. But for these tutorials, for right now, we're only using one texture. And so we can think outside the box and learn how it works. And then at the end of the class, after we go through all of them, we will do some combining. So please remember, let's just do the lighten today. So lighten compares the upper and the lower and uses the lighter pixel to display. Now this may sound very familiar to you, because it's almost exactly like the darken. The darken compares the upper to the lower and uses the darker pixel to display. So this is exactly opposite of the darken. So let's bring up our graph that we've been showing in every at the beginning of every lesson. And I'm going to go back and review the darken first. And you see the dark side was blended, and there was no change on the right side. But with the lighten, it's just the opposite. So there's no change in the darker areas, and there's change in the lighter areas. And so if you have something that's purely white in your texture layer, it's going to stay white. And so when you have rips and tears, which we have in our texture today, they're going to stay white, where the dark areas of the texture are going to make no change at all. So the black in the texture is going to make no change, and it's just going to show your original photo. So to me, this is so much more usable. So here is my finished product, and I did cheat a little bit because I made this particular graphic before I started deciding what I was going to do with the class. This was actually my very first texture that I played with. So let's look at the texture, and here's my cheat layer, which I'll show to you later. And here's with just the texture. And let's make it normal. So here's the texture everybody's getting that we're going to play with. It's really, really yummy, isn't it? I always say that, yummy, yummy, yummy. And there's the rips and some of the white. And so most of this, now this would be a great texture for some other blending modes, and you can go through them and play with them and see what they do. But for our samples and sharing, we're only going to use the lighten with this texture. Everybody used the same texture. And yeah, this one's just kind of yummy. It's got all that crumbled stuff in it. And so when we blend it with the lighten mode, you see how most of the image stays its original color, but wherever the tears are and the white all about it. It just puts this grungy look to it. And I absolutely love that. Now here's where I cheated. I actually had the same one of a different color, same texture in the different color, and I had applied the soft blending mode, but you can't do that yet. But you can see what it does. That's kind of where I cheated. It kind of gave it this really beautiful hue, and then I added this one that I'm giving you in the Lighten to get the, so here's without this one underneath. It just kind of changes the color and softens it up even more. But you can't do that one yet. I cheated because I made it before and I couldn't bring myself to undo it. And so there you have it. It's as simple as that. If you can use some of the other techniques you've learned. If you want more of the tears in different spots, you can, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this and show you what you can do. We've done this before already, is get the clone tool, and I'm going to hold down my Alt key right here on this nice big tear, and I'm going to bring it over here. Nah, I don't want it there because then it's like repeating. I'm going to bring it down here as I want another tear, and I like this tear here, and maybe I want it along the edge a little bit. I like that this one's up and down so that I can just bring it into the edge. So if you want more tears in different places, you can do some cloning, and that actually looks pretty good. Adding a few more of those tear spots into it. I kind of like it like that. So I might just leave it like that, and instead of my original. So there you have it, and I look forward to seeing yours.